Blanket's always handy. You can come and find a position on your mat, a nice seat. Just doing good. And when you do that, just take some time to rock around a little bit, roll your shoulders a little bit, let out a few sighs. And then notice right from the start that the lower body, this is your stability, right? We're going to give ourselves a place to root down and ground down. Hi, Medders, and everyone who's joining, good. And then lift your arms up. So from this rootedness, you can move in all directions. So let the arms come up. Stretch the side body, and then bring the hands together and let the hands come to the third eye point for a moment. Just pause and let your thumbs touch the third eye point. And then let your thumbs touch your heart. And then extend the arms down with the palms open to receive this practice. And if you'd like, you can close your eyes. And if it's comfortable, you can close your mouth. Arrive at the practice. Bring yourself here, all aspects of yourself. Good. Notice the breath breathing you. And feel the energy of the inhalation and the energy of the exhalation. And even as you notice and feel the breath, even as you notice and feel the breath, taking time to relax the chin and the jaw, the cheeks, the eyes, the forehead, and the crown. And taking time to feel into all that is present right now in the body. Where you feel strength, where you feel like you could use some extra support. The places that we easily accept and the places that are a little more challenging to accept. Take it all in. Think about why you're here this morning. Think about how this practice can help you or support you. And as you consider that, I'll just read to you, and I've read this to you before, but a thought about how we approach the practice, coming to the mat time and time again, from Sri Aurobindo. The power needed in yoga is the power to go through effort, difficulty, or trouble without getting fatigued, depressed, discouraged, or impatient, and without breaking off the effort or giving up one's aim or resolution. A quiet, vigilant, but undistressed persistence is the best way to get the practice done. So just thinking about that, that's kind of a play on opposites, this quiet, undistressed persistence. Often when we think about persistence, we think about just staying very aggressive or pounding into something, right? Just persisting, but it can be quiet and undistressed and still be persistent. So I just invite you to take that into your practice. And if you have an intention that you'd like to set that as you bring the hands together in front of the heart and rub the palms across each other. Inhaling and sighing out, making some sounds and still feeling this base, your lower body connecting you to the earth and the upper body probably moving a little bit. And then place one hand over your heart and the other hand over that hand. And if you have an intention, assert that for yourself right now in a quiet and undistressed way. That will help to give you focus during this practice, maybe during this full day. It'll help you make the practice your own. And the practice is your own, and we're here all together. Again, a little bit of opposites, right? Your own practice in the midst of the community that joins together to practice. So let's vibrate the sound of Om 3 times. And I know we can't hear each other, just to allow yourself to sense the vibration of the community and feel the vibration within you. Inhale deeply. Oh. Let your hands come down and make your way to a tabletop position. You can use your blanket to pad the knees if you'd like. And again, establish this base of stability here with the hands on the mat. Spread the hands as wide as you can, stretching the fingers, let the tops of the feet press into the mat. And when you press the tops of the feet into the mat, if they're very tight, the toes might turn in towards each other, the big toes. As much as you can, point your big toes to the short edge of the mat behind you. If that causes any cramping, you just tap out your feet. But find the stability here so that within this stability, we can move and inhale deeply here. And on your exhale, drop the tailbone and round the back body and let the head drop. Spread the space between the shoulder blades. Elbows are soft. Wear some more softness here. And then lengthen the tailbone, lift your heart. And on your exhale, round the back body. And on your inhale, lift the heart. And on the exhale, round the back body. So the arms and the legs aren't moving, but the spine is moving. Finding some range of motion within the spine. And then once you've done that one last round, start to move a little more organically. So from this grounding, the hands and the shins, what directions can you move in? Test them all out. Maybe you rock around a little bit or circle the hips or let the head move. Just maybe sway around. Anything that occurs to you as a movement that would feel good in the spine, you can do as long as you keep those points of contact, those points of stability with the mat, and let your breath come along for the ride, really freeing that up as well. And then gently come to stillness again. And let's release one of those points of contact. Take the left leg back, tuck the toes under. Feel what connects as you do, and then tent your right fingertips and glide those forward. So keep a softness in the arm and the leg, even though they're lengthened. Softness to the face. Feel the connection through the belly. And if your left hip is lifting higher than your right hip, lower it down. And on your inhale, float up. Extending the arm, extending the leg. So here we take away a little bit of our stability, and let's just see what happens. So inviting a quiet, undistressed approach to balance. Take a few more breaths. And then stretch a little longer. And on your next exhale, bring the elbow and knee towards each other. Round here. Good. And then extend out. And then bend your left knee and just reach back and just tap your right toes. And reach out again. And then take your right arm back in line with your shoulder and your left leg forward in line with your hip. Keep the left leg lifted if you can, and if not, put it down. Good. And then lower the left leg. Reach your right arm forward again and do one cat-cow in this weird position, round the back body. And lift the heart. Good. Bring your hand down, bring the knee in, pause for a moment. Let out a sigh. Extend the right leg. Tent your left fingertips. You're probably nice relief for the wrist there. Glide the arm forward. Feel that connection in the belly and float everything up. Good, float everything up. Now notice what's going on with your left foot. Is it trying to turn under and grip the mat? Notice that. If you can, keep the foot extended. If you need to tuck the toes under because the foot is tight, you can. And see if you're wobbling, and you probably are. And what you need to do to come back to the center each time, right? What you need to do to find your stability here. And then once you've found your stability, bring the elbow and the knee towards each other, round the back body. Good, maybe the elbow and knee touch, maybe they don't. Extend here. Bend your right knee, reach back. And if you can, you just touch your left toe. or your right toe. And then reach everything out. Take your left arm back by the left shoulder and your right leg forward by the right hip. Good. And then lower the foot. Bring the arm in front of you and do one cat-cow stretch. And lift your heart. Bring the hand down, bring the knee down, pause here. Let out a sigh. Bring the forearms to the mat. Lengthen the legs and find your way to Sphinx, which will stretch the belly, which will likely feel pretty good after that. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. So we're just continuing today to look at what makes us feel stable and what makes us feel unstable a little bit. So reach the arms forward. So you're like Superman or Superwoman flying, and then bend your right elbow so your hands on the mat and roll over onto your left side. If you can, have the arm be extended. Otherwise, you could put the hand under the head. Actually, either of these will work. So the body's in a long line, and you're just on the left side of the body. You might feel like you're rolling back or forward, and you might be tempted to bring the feet forward to give you more stability. Try not to do that. Try to keep the body in a long line and then lift both legs. This also helps to work on the obliques, which give us a lot of stability. Good. And then lower down. Good. And then lift your right arm up. See what happens here. And then lift your legs up. Good. And then extend your right leg forward and your left leg back. You're probably rolling around a little bit. Just see what you can do. Keep breathing. And then come back to the center. And then left leg forward and right leg back. Isn't that fun? Good. Come back to the center. Woo. Lower down. Come back to your belly. You can always bring that arm down for a little bit of stability, of course. And then roll onto your left side. I'm just going to turn so I can see you. Roll onto your left side. Same thing. Good. So first we have that hand down in front of us. And then you lift your legs. Oh, good. Then lift your arm. Good. Beautiful. Now one leg forward and one leg back, just like a scissor kick. Feel some new muscles that'll help stabilize you that maybe haven't been working so hard. Come back to the center and then do the other side. Of course, you can bring things down and just smile at this instability. Don't get distressed about it, right? Be quiet and undistressed and persistent. And come back down. Woof. Lower that down. Come back to the center and find your way back to Sphinx. I'm just going to swing around once more so I'm in the direction that I like. Forearms on the mat, stretch the belly, stretch the sides of the body. Good. From here, tuck your toes under, lift the knees and come to a forearm plank. So now we get into some positions where you might be tempted to just really tense everything up, right? What do you need to engage to stay here? And what doesn't need to engage, right? Sometimes we bring all the efforts when just a little is needed. So relax the face. You don't have to tense your face to hold this. And then when you're ready, walk your feet in a little bit. You can always come to knees too. This is dolphin. Let the head hang, let the heels melt down. Ooh, and again, what needs to engage here? What's giving you stability? What's stretching, right? You feel the backs of the legs stretching. Widen your feet a little bit. And you might be able to bring your heels down a little, soften your knees a little bit. Good. And then you can walk your feet back out, coming back the way we came in to forearm plank. Knees down, lift your heart. Come to Sphinx. Good. Beautiful. From here, bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Come back to your tabletop. Let out some sort of sound. Any sound is fine. Take the lower part of your left leg, flare it out to the side, extend the right leg and stack the right hip over the left hip and lift the right arm up. Good. If you want a little more right away, you could also extend your left leg and stack your right leg on top of the left. So we're in what's called Vashisthasana, and it's a side plank. Any way you want to do it, both legs long, one knee on the mat. Give it 2 more breaths. Find your stability. When you lose it, re-find it. Good. Come back to the center. One cat-cow stretch here. Feel the movement. Feel the stability. Good. And then come back to center. Flare the right leg out. Extend the left leg. I'm trusting you to do this when I turn away from my computer. Reach the arm up. Maybe that lower leg comes out. Maybe the foot stays or the knee stays down. Open your heart. When you lose your stability, find it again. Keep the breath flowing. No distress here. One more breath. Come back down. Come to your tabletop. Tuck the toes under and stretch the hips back towards the heels for a long child's pose. Walk your fingertips out a little bit, hips to the heels, forehead to the mat. And then if your shoulders are stretching, which I'm sure they are, let's add a little bit of stability to that by turning the armpits down as if they could come towards each other, as if they could turn towards each other. So you're spreading the space between the shoulder blades and the armpits are turning inward a little bit. And they may even be able to stretch a little more when you rotate them that way. On your exhale, pull the belly of the spine, really feel the stretch in the low back. And then as you're ready, come to downward facing dog. Woo. Breathe it out, sigh it out, roar it out. This is a great posture to look at stability and flexibility as well, because we've got strength and stretching going on here. Stretch your fingers. You can always come to a wall for this. You can always come to your knees and do a puppy, down puppy instead of down dog. So guided by your intention, follow what is best for you in this practice. Heels come down. There's a lot of stuff on the wrist today. Armpits towards each other, head hangs. Inhale and exhale. Look between the hands, engage the belly, walk the feet towards the hands. Bend the knees as much as you need to. And if you can reach each hand under each foot, then you'll reach each hand under each foot and massage the heel of the hand with your toes. The elbows are sticking out. If you don't reach under the feet, that's okay. You could just turn the backs of the hands towards your shins and stretch the wrist in that way. So see, and if you tuck the feet under if you tuck the hands under the feet, you might feel a little less stability. Maybe you feel a little like you're going to tip forward a little bit, engage the belly so that you don't. Then take the hands away. Inhale, lift up halfway. Hands can come to your shins, pull the shoulders towards each other, soften the knees and come to standing. Ooh. Roll the shoulders onto the back. You can stay just as you are. I'm going to turn so you can see me. Take your right foot and cross it over the left. Reach the arms up and stretch, make a crescent shape over to the right. So this is just taking away a little bit of stability. See what happens. Squeeze the inner thighs together, soften the knees, come back to the center and fold forward. Try to keep the weight balanced between the front and back of the foot and fold to wherever you fold. Hands can come to your block or to your mat or to your legs. Lift up halfway. Exhale, fold, press the feet into the mat, squeeze the inner thighs together as you come up, right? A little different there. Yep, beautiful. Step the right foot to the side, hands to the heart, and then just cross the left foot in front of the right. So one side's going to be a little more stable than the other. Squeeze the inner thighs together, reach up. Stretch over to the left, big crescent shape over to the left. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. Good. Come back to the center. Fold forward, soften everything. Fold, fold, fold. Let the head drop. Let the head be really heavy. Good. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, fold and press your feet into the mat. Notice which parts of the feet you have to press in. Engage legs, lift yourself all the way up. Good. Hands come to the heart, feet step side to side, step to the top of your mat if you're not already there. And on your inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Lengthen the tailbone, lift the heart. Root the feet down. On your exhale, surrender forward. Let the head hang. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale to fold. Plant the hands and lunge your right foot back. You can put your hands on your block here. We're going to keep the hands down and just find that Nice low lunge with the right knee lifted up. Now engage the belly and bring the right foot back in to meet the left. So step forward, forward fold, good. Now take the left foot and lunge it back. Nice. Square the hips, heart is lifted. Good. And then from here, step the left foot forward. You're back in that forward fold, lift up halfway, fold again, plant the hands, take the feet back to plank. So you could walk them back, or you could hop or float them back, but land in your plank. And again, find some softness where we have a lot of stability that we're asking. Bring the knees down, bring the forearms down, do what is best for you in a quiet and undistressed way. And then bring your knees down. Untuck your toes, lower the heart, the elbows hug you, and the shoulders come to the ears and down. They come to the ears and down. One more time, they come to the ears and down. They probably don't come all the way to the ears. Lift the heart. Good. Cobra posture. If you want more, press the tops of the feet into the mat, lift your knees, and open your heart. And then bring everything back down. Tuck the toes. Let's come back to that really elongated child's pose, really just to give the wrists a break. Stretch. Now walk your fingertips forward and press just the tips of the fingertips into the mat so the elbows will lift a little bit more. Now draw the armpits down a little bit. Spread the space between the shoulder blades. Lengthen the tailbone a little bit. Let out one big sigh. Come back to downward facing dog. In down dog here, lift your right leg up and give yourself some wake up kicks. Make sounds if you want. Let the heel stay close to the buttock and just spin your knee up to the sky. Head still hangs. Good. Square the hips, lengthen the leg, and bring the knee and the nose towards each other as you round here. More stability, engage in the abdominal muscles, lengthen the leg back. And now take the right knee towards the left elbow. You can hold it there, or you can extend the leg so that the pinky edge of the right foot's on the mat, then lower the left heel and lift the left arm. So another form of Vashisthasana or side plank. And then lift your right leg as well. Sometimes this is called fallen triangle as well. Bring your right hand down. Right knee comes in, lengthen the leg, lower the foot. Bring your knees down, come to that elongated child's pose. Good. From here, come back to downward facing dog. Lift the tailbone, heels melt down, left leg up for your kicks and your sounds. Let the heel stay close to the hip. Open up the left knee. Try not to change anything else. Everything else is pretty stable. Square the hips. Lengthen the legs so that you can then bring the knee and the nose together. Round the back body. Then the knee comes towards the right elbow. Foot extends, maybe. Left heel down. Right arm up. Maybe the left leg comes up. See what happens. In a quiet and undistressed, persistent way. Bring the hands down. Lengthen the leg back, lower the foot, engage the belly, and walk your hands back towards your feet and roll yourself up like a rag doll. Good. Hopefully you're a little bit warm now. Shoulders come onto the back. We're going to grab our strap. Grab your strap. Good. If you don't have a strap, that's okay too. You're going to use your hands. We're going to work on some standing balance. If you have your strap, you'll put it all the way under your foot and you'll put your foot on the mat. Let's start all lifting the left foot if you're able to, just to stay together so we don't get confused. So when you put the strap under your foot, pull it up so you feel it pulling into the bottom of the foot, and then lean down and walk down. Now, if you're using your hands, you're just going to hold onto your thigh and pull your thigh up when we lift the leg. So your hands are down. Now engage the belly, shift your weight to the right foot and use the hands to pull the leg in. So really your foot is still pushing into the strap. There's real engagement there. You can always move towards a wall too. So see what happens here. Good. And you can stay here if you want, or you can extend the leg out. Good. If you're extending the leg out, make sure your left hip isn't lifting up, that it's dropping down. Now take the strap in both hands. You can walk the hands down a little bit. Shoulders are still over your hips. Maybe you release the right arm. Good. And now maybe you open up that left leg, keeping a slight bend in it. Root down, lift up. Good. See what happens. Good. Again, if you don't have a strap, you're holding some part of your leg with your hand, which is completely doable. Now bring the leg back in front. Don't drop the leg. Take the strap away. See if you can hold that leg forward for just a breath or two. Good. And then lower the leg down. And just bounce around a little bit. Good. All right. Second side. Bring the strap down so it cradles the foot. So before we do anything, we're finding that connection. Bring your hands down a little bit. Good. And pull up on the strap. Shoulders are still down. Now use the strap to lift the foot. The knee is bent, but there's some real dynamic tension there. Good. Lift it up. Find your stability here. And then extend the leg. Good. Forward. Beautiful. Good. You can walk the hands down the strap. Lift the opposite arm. Good. Shoulders down. And then maybe open up that leg. See what happens. Lift it up. So you're rooting down. There's everything going on in all directions. Nice. Good. Come back to the center. When you're ready, keep that leg engaged so that when you take the strap away, the leg is still lifted. And then lower the leg down. Whew. Toss your strap off to the side. Oh, and just bounce a little bit. Good. From here, keep a block handy. Let's put it right in front of the mat, in fact. Or right in front of the long edge of the mat. Turn to the long edge of your mat. Come into a straddle. And just let that, whatever happened during that balancing happen. Now we're going to have a lot of stability because the legs are nice and wide. We've got a big wide base. Hands to your heart like a little lotus flower. Sink down, open up the knees so the hips are dropping right down. And then on your inhale, you kind of release that flower, reach up. Good. Exhale, lower down. Good. Maybe you go a little lower each time. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up. This time when we come down, you might have already guessed it, we're going to stay here. Good. So stay here. Open across the heart, shoulders down, breath is flowing. Lift your right heel only. Press the ball of the foot into the mat. Good. Lower it down. Lift your left heel only. Good. Lower it down. Lift both heels. See what happens. Sink down a little more. Maybe you start to tremble. Take a few breaths here. Lower the heels, lengthen the legs, reach the arms up and turn your toes so they face the long edge of the mat and fold forward. And your hands can come to your block or to your mat. If you don't need the block quite yet, move it out of the way, but not too far, and lower all the way down. So finding after all of that engagement, some more softness in the backs of the legs. And then using your block at whatever height you need, lift your shoulders so that they're in line with the hips. We want a nice long back here. And place your right hand on the block and lift your left arm. So find some mobility, flexibility in the rib cage. We've got this base of this nice straddle. You can soften the knees. Give this another breath or two. And then come down. Good. Pause for a moment in the center and come to the other side. Reach the arm up. We're trying not to mess with the stability of the lower body, so we want the hips to be pretty level. That will limit the range of motion a little bit. Just see what you have within this movement. Good, and then lower down. From here, engage the belly so that you can take the hands off to the hips and lift yourself up. Heel toe the feet in. Pause here and step to the top of your mat. Reach the arms up and overhead. Fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, fold. Planting your hands, take the right foot back and lower the right knee to the mat. If you want to pat it, you can pat it. You can use blocks here for your hands. So we're coming to this nice low lunge. And we can stay here, or we can even deepen it a little bit. You can bring your hands inside, and that could be to your block or to your mat, and lower the upper body. So remember, we're talking about stability and flexibility. So here we know we're working on flexibility, but where's the stability? Imagine you could bring your left heel and your right knee towards each other. So you engage the muscles and then allow the stretch. So engage on the inhale, soften into the stretch a little bit. So you'll release just a little on the exhale, engage. And see if each time you exhale, you might find a little more softness. And if you want to, and it feels okay, you can take your left foot out to the side and open up the knee by rolling onto the pinky edge of the foot. So you either have the foot flat or open, either is fine. Give it a few more breaths. Good, and then bring the hands down, lift your heart, take the foot in between the hands, tuck the left toes under, engage the belly, left foot meets the right in plank. Find that softness in your plank. Knees come down, heart lowers, roll the shoulders, lift the heart. Come to downward facing dog. Beautiful. From here, bring the right foot forward, lower the left knee. So we're just in that lunge on the other side. Hands come to the inside, and you find, this is actually called, I can't think of the Sanskrit name. It's called lizard. We call it lizard in English, but it's not that in Sanskrit, of course. And then find your stability. So depending on the strength in each leg, it's going to feel a little different on this side. Imagining that the right heel pulls to the left knee and sink down and expand and release. And then if you would like, you can open up that right knee. Maybe it makes you lift a little higher in the upper body. Maybe it helps you go a little deeper. Just see where it is. Give this a few more breaths. And then when you're ready, you'll come back in, bring that foot into the center, tuck the toes under, lift the knee, and bring the left foot forward to meet the right in Uttanasana, forward fold. Lift up halfway, fold forward. Press your feet into the earth, sweep the arms up and overhead. Hands come into the heart. Take your blocks, place them in the upper corners of the mat at the highest height, and walk back so that when you bring your hands to the block, you make a little bit of a box. Your hands are right under your shoulders, your feet are right under your hips, and then you can stand up again. Good. Take your left foot back, just slide the toes back, bring your hands to your blocks. Engage the belly, lift the leg, come to warrior three. So we're back to looking at a lot of stability here. And what contributes to that stability? So make the weight that's on your hands just a little lighter by engaging the belly a little more, and then extend the right arm forward. Good. Your hips are as level as they can be. So if you look down, you see your toes pointing to the mat. Bring that arm down. Now lift the left arm. It's going to be slightly more challenging, I would guess. Try not to lean too much to the right. That's not so easy to do. Whew. See how you do with this. Then lower that arm down. Now lift both arms by your sides. Reach them back. Lift your heart. Find some expression of warrior three. It might be nice to clasp the hands behind you. You can always bring your hands back down to your blocks and work with that. Give it another breath or two, and then stand up. Whew. Arms by your sides. Shake it out. Good. Second side. So you're probably more or less in the right place, but you could check just to make sure you still can make that box. Then lift yourself up. Don't gear up for it. You know what's coming, but just let it happen, right? So a lot of softness here. Bring the hands down to your blocks. Lift your right leg. Beautiful. Hips are level. You're looking at your toes. They're pointing down. Left arm comes forward and the breath flows, and you feel some of the muscles that help you to stay stable here. Left hand comes down. Okay. Right arm comes forward. I taught this yesterday and I'm feeling it, man. Right arm comes forward and you just see what happens. Engage those muscles instead of really leaning to the left. Good. See what happens. I'm very challenged by this today. That's good. Bring the hand down and then root down through the left foot. Reach the arms up. Maybe you clasp the hands together. Find warrior three. Shoulders away from the ears. Back of the neck is long. Give it a chance. Give yourself a chance with this. Quiet and under stress, but still persistent. Woo. And then bring the right foot down. Come to mountain or Tadasana. Let out any sound you want. Good. All right. Drop the hips, come into chair. Good. Hug the ribs around you, hips are back. Reach the arms up. Good. I'm going to turn towards you. One more set of balancing postures. Shift the weight to the right leg, cross the left leg over and sink down. So here we have that perfect marriage of stability and flexibility. Feel free to bring the hands down to the mat if you need a little more. Take this anywhere that you'd like to take it. Think about pressing the thigh into the area above the ankle and the ankle into the area above the thigh, opening up that knee, lifting the heart and breathing. Nice. Good. Lengthen the right leg. Come to Tadasana. Try not to shake this out. Just be still. Notice what happens here. Drop the hips. Lift the heart. Shift the weight. Come into this on the other side. One hand to the wall, or maybe your buttocks are against the wall. That's kind of a nice way to balance. Just let your backside come to the wall. And again, press the thigh into the leg. See how you feel that engaging. Then maybe this knee even can open or soften just a little more. Keep the heart lifted. Keep the breath flowing. Good. Good. One more breath. And then root down, lift up. Whew. Feet on the mat. Arms by your sides. Step to the top of your mat. Inhale and sigh out. Reach the arms up and over your head. With a big sigh of surrender, fold forward. Lift up halfway and fold again. Planting the hands, take your feet back to downward facing. Lengthen the tailbone, find as much space as you can in the legs, the arms, the mid-body. Find as much strength as you can in those areas as well. And then let the knees open and come to a wide-kneed child's pose. Hips to the heels, reach the arms out, breathe in your intention. How is it going? Good. From here, lengthen the body on the mat and turn onto your back. Walk the feet out to the outer edges of the mat and let the knees fall towards each other. Good. You might want to do just a little bit of a couple of rounds of a pelvic tilt where you press the low back into the mat, the tailbone lifts up a little bit, and then that's released. And then again, and release. And then again, in case the back got a little tired during that, it might have. We did a lot of standing. One more time, press that in. Good. And now let the knees come away from each other and walk the feet wider than your mat and drop both knees over to the left. And let your arms be out from your shoulders or over your head. If you need more support with this twist, you could put a block underneath either knee or both knees. If you need more edge to this, you could take your left heel and bring it on top of the right thigh to give it a little more weight to open up. Relax your face. Feel the breath start to settle. Balance is interesting because it's both physically challenging and mentally. It helps us to look at a few things, how we feel about control and things like that. Take your left foot off, bring the knees to the center. Pause for a moment. You can sway them a little bit or be still, see what feels best, and then drop both knees over to the right. Good. And then you can, if you'd like, take the right heel onto the left thigh for some weight and let that be drawn down a little bit. The jaw is relaxed. The forehead is soft. Feeling whatever it is that you feel right now. And then when you're ready, the right heel comes off, the knees point back up to the sky. Inhale and let out a big sigh. And just wave your knees side to side. And then heel toe the feet in and hug the knees in. Rock a little bit side to side. You can even walk the shoulders away from the ears and the hips away from the shoulders a little bit. Find your happy baby. Reach out to the outer edges of the feet. Knees drop into the armpits. You can sigh some more. Kick out your heels or be quiet and still. And then bring the knees in, extend the body, and find the opposite of that happy baby and have a little bit of a tantrum. And then become quiet and still again. Let the eyes close. Let the mouth close and find some time to just be here, right? To just rest and be. And if thoughts come to you, notice them. If it's something that you'd like to engage in, maybe just put a pin in it for now and make a commitment to come back to lean into whatever that is after this practice. And for now, giving yourself the chance to just be and do nothing as you